So Jalen Hurts was selected 53 overall to the Philadelphia Eagles, and in my opinion, was a dumb mistake by Howie Roseman and as the GM, and they should have taken someone else because that's not their particular need. And they have Carson Wentz, who's an elite quarterback, but they don't need a backup. I mean, there's people on the board names AJ Epinesa, Denzel Mims, J.K. Dobbins, Van Jefferson. They had elite wide receivers that could still be taken that were projected first, second rounds. And Jalen Hurts does not fit their need. He may be a pretty good player, but he's not developed. And I don't see him playing for like 15, 20% snaps and him just running the ball a few times being effective when you could have another player that is as your wide receiver because Carson Wentz had no help last year. And I don't think it's beneficial because it's not gonna help anything and he struggles against teams like LSU and TCU, like in the Final Four, and he's not good enough for it. He's not built for the NFL, and I don't think he'll produce on the Philadelphia Eagles. What's your take on that?
My initial reaction to this pick, I was pissed, I was mad, I was everything. Like, I disliked the pick completely. But the more and more I look into it, the more I see why Jalen Hurts was selected. You look at at Carson Wentz's career with the Eagles, he hasn't been very durable. Last season was the first season he had an entire year played and he got hurt in the first playoff game. Granted, it was a cheap shot, but still, he got hurt again. So it adds another quarterback to the depth chart who was successful in college, he had a 38-3 record, and he was in the Heisman finalist as a senior. Those are two nice accolades to have on your resume going into the draft.
That's true. He lost his job to Tua at Alabama and transferred to Oklahoma, having a great wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb, which I think did most of the work for him. So I don't think he's as elite.
Tua was, if he doesn't get hurt, he's the number 1 overall pick in this draft. So, he should have lost his job to Tua.
Yeah, but a second-round pick, the Eagles are taking someone. Why wouldn't they just sign Andy Dalton? The Cowboys took him because
Andy Dalton wasn't available.
Or a Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill was undrafted. That is the dumbest comparison you could have, to waste a second-round pick on Taysom Hill.
I don't think they're going to use him like Taysom Hill.
Per game because he's not good enough to play one position. The reason is he doesn't play that much, and he'll never play quarterback or never play a full position because he's not good enough. He's just athletic and strong that he can be fit in and time to time to shake things up. But as a second-round pick, Jalen Hurts is totally not worth it. And this could hurt the Eagles down the road because if Sidney Jones doesn't work out at cornerback or a wide receiver like Jalen Reagor doesn't work out, now you screwed yourself over. You have a wide receiver when you could have taken Van Jefferson or Denzel Mims with that pick, who just won a couple picks after. Or you could have taken did they think Jalen Hurts was going to go sooner than later?
It's possible. Think about this. Now, you have Jalen Hurts on your roster, and he's not the QB1. So I think he's gonna be more of a mix between rookie year Lamar Jackson and Taysom Hill. So he has those he's gonna have wildcat plays, and he's gonna have trick plays where he's catching it out wide and throwing it and whatever. With that, when your opponent has to game plan for that every week, and that's just more that the defense has to know, your opposing defense has to know. And then when we play the Saints this year, we have a player like Jalen Hurts on our roster. Our defense is going to be used to those type of plays, know when those types of plays are coming. So when we play this, or when the Eagles play the Saints, Taysom Hill is not going to be as effective. There are benefits. He is very versatile too. So you could see him at quarterback, you see him at running back, you could see him at a slot wide receiver.
But why would you want that? Wouldn't you? Now you drafted your weapons. Wouldn't you want Carson Wentz just back there? Because if you have Jalen Hurts there for 5 snaps, 6 snaps a game, how is that effective when you could have someone drafted another player that could be starting or learning to fill in a starter role?
It helps Carson Wentz's durability. Think about it. 3rd and 1, Carson Wentz likes those QB sneak plays, right? Those
Yeah,
are dangerous. Would you rather have Jalen Hurts running that play or Carson Wentz running that play?
I would have drafted A.J. Dillon and
Listen,
run him up.
but we didn't need a running back in the second round. A running back was unnecessary in the second round.
So was Jalen Hurts.
But but my point is there are certain situations where you don't want Carson Wentz risking his body, where Jalen Hurts, a lot of his college career was more of a running quarterback where he took hits and he delivered blows. So when it's 3rd and 1, we don't need Carson Wentz to go blow up behind the center where he could get his legs hit, like tear his ACL again. I know it's a different situation, but that's a dangerous play with all those people piling on top of your quarterback. I would rather have Jalen Hurts get a direct snap in the Wildcat and have the running back lead block for him right up the middle than have Carson Wentz get a snap and QB sneak for a yard.
Yeah, but it's so if he can't throw that very accurately, it's so easy to tell he's just gonna run it up the middle, so you're stuffing the box.
Okay,
So
his
unless he
college numbers, his
develops,
accuracy isn't the best, but he still completed his senior year 65% of his passes. It's not like he's a
he also
bad
had
quarterback.
CeeDee Lamb on his team. He had an elite receiver. A lot of other
Okay, and he
quarterbacks
was
have
getting
something to
double
work
teamed
with.
every game. It wasn't just CeeDee Lamb.
They don't play. They also don't play in the
CeeDee
best
Lamb
conference.
wasn't a Heisman finalist.
What
Jalen
what
Hurts was.
what was his percentage for 2018 when he played with Alabama when he was a starter in sophomore year? What was he playing? What percentage was he throwing? What was his completion percentage? Just
His career completions percentage was 65. Hold on.
just click on the games.
Yeah, I gotta go. 73%. Even better.
No, he only played a little bit that games.
Okay,
his
so
sophomore year is when he started.
we should focus on his last year.
I'm just trying to prove a point.
He completed 70% of his passes. That's good.
That is pretty good. But let's see the teams that he played that he didn't do well. LSU under 50%, the good teams. TCU 50%.
I mean,
The better teams he
knowing that
faced.
he's not a great throwing quarterback. There's going to be development involved, and that's why you have one of the best coaches in the league, Doug Peterson, who was a quarterback himself, is going to be able to develop Jalen Hurts to throw the ball more accurately. But Jalen Hurts has the athletic ability and the skill set to be a solid all-around player for the Eagles. We didn't draft him to be our future quarterback. And if Carson Wentz goes down, we have a solid backup in Jalen Hurts. We don't really have, without Jalen Hurts, who's our backup? Who's the Eagles' backup? Nate Sudfeld? Do you really trust Nate Sudfeld? I think I would rather have Jalen Hurts back there.
No, I don't. But I feel like what the Cowboys did of getting Andy Dalton or getting someone on a cheap that's played the game and has experience. Because if you're throwing Jalen Hurts in a playoff scenario or late in the season, I don't care how good he is, he's not going to perform at a high level.
Okay, well, the only quarterbacks available at the time were Cam Newton and Jameis Winston. Andy Dalton was not available when we drafted Jalen Hurts. So, we would have had to trade for Andy Dalton. I don't think it's worth trading assets to get Andy Dalton. Would you have rather signed Cam Newton or Jameis Winston?
I'd rather sign Cam Newton. If you could
But Cam Newton is the same thing. Cam Newton hasn't been healthy. And how long?
Exactly, but if you're looking
and he
for that
can't throw either.
Stuff, he could easily get that for you.
He can't throw though.
Exactly.
You might as well draft a durable player who's the same ability and not have to sign him to a huge contract. You know how much money we would have to pay Cam Newton to be our backup? That's a waste of cap.
You're right. So the Eagles are taking him to bank on if he gets hurt as insurance.
And to have that extra fold in the offense to throw defenses off.
Okay. I just feel that you can't take the quarterback in the second round. When that pick came up, I was shocked out of my mind. I saw Denzel Mims. I thought Denzel Mims was coming off the board. I was so excited, and I saw a quarterback taken. I felt like that was a little 1-2 punch to Carson Wentz too, to stay
Well,
healthy or else.
Carson Wentz was informed of the pick before. It wasn't like the Eagles front office that just pulled the rug out from Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was on board with the pick.
Now that's what I don't like. I think Carson Wentz should be kind of disappointed because what he dealt with last year is the wide receiver standpoint.
But it's not about Carson Wentz losing his job. It's about Carson Wentz having another weapon to the offense. It's helping Carson. It's not hurting Carson. If anything, it's keeping Carson more healthy so it doesn't have to go on those running on the more injury risk situations like I was explaining earlier.
I just don't agree with the pick. I think it was too soon to be able to take a quarterback. Unless Jalen Hurts is going to fall back more. I just think the first 2-round picks were a little iffy. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.